All right, today our topic is adding and subtracting fractions. So our end goal is that we'll be able to add and subtract fractions. First thing is key terms, common denominator, which is two or more fractions with the same denominator. Now we talked about this in the first set of notes, 3.1. We're coming back to it because we need to use this concept to add and subtract. Common denominator. So remember, denominator is the bottom number. So it also means you have the same amount of pieces. So if we look at these circles, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. So they both have a denominator of 5. Here we have 2 pieces colored in. Here we have all 5 pieces covered in. So these would be two fractions with a common denominator, which means we could add them together. We have 2/5 plus 5/5 means we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fifths. All right, so adding fractions. First off, they have to have a common denominator, so same bottom number. Then you add the numerators, so add the top number and keep the denominator the same. And then make sure your answer is in simplest form. So we have to make sure it's reduced. Okay? So here, let's check. 10 and 10, they already have a common denominator. We can abbreviate that CD. So common denominator, check. Add the numerators, so do 2 plus 3 is 5. Keep that denominator the same. Now, is that in simplest form? No, because both numbers can be divided by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So our answer in simplest form would be 1/2. All right, the second example, we have 1/2 plus 2/5. If we look, they are not in simplest form. We have 1/2 and 2/5. So we need a common denominator. So that's when we have to list out those multiples. So multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. For 5, we have 5, 10, 15, 20. If we've noticed, we've hit a common multiple 10, which means we need to change 1/2 to 10 to a denominator of 10 and 2/5 to have a denominator of 10. So to change 2 to 10, we have to multiply by 5, which means we'll multiply both the top and bottom by 5. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Bring down that plus sign. 2 over 5, to make 5 turn into 10, we'd have to times it by 2. So it means we have to multiply the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 2 is 10. So now we have 5/10 plus 4/10. So now we can add the numerators. 5 plus 4 is 9. Keep the denominator the same. 9/10 is in simplest form because nothing goes into both 9 and 10 besides 1. So that's adding. Subtracting is basically the same thing. You need the common denominator, except for you subtract the numerators instead of add them. Now remember, you might need to use keep, change, flip if it's not normal subtraction. Okay? So, and we also do need to have those answers in simplest form. So if we look here, 8/11 minus 4/11, they have a common denominator. We're good. So we can do 8 minus 4, which is 4. And then keep 11 the same. 4 over 11 is in simplest form because nothing goes into both 4 and 11 besides 1. Now if we look at the next example, 2/5 minus 1/4, they do not have a common denominator. So we got to list out those multiples. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Start with 5 numbers. If that doesn't give you enough, go further out. And then we have 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. That's where we find that common denominator, that least common multiple. So our common denominator is going to be 20. So how can we get from 5 to 20? That'd be multiplying by 4, which means we have to multiply the top number by 4 as well. 2 times 4 is 8. And then for the next one, how do we get from 4 to 20? That would be multiplying by 5, which means we have to multiply 1 by 5. 1 times 5 is 5. So now we can do 8 20ths minus 5 20ths. 8 minus 5 is 3. Keep the 20. 3 over 20 is fully simplified because nothing goes into 3 and 20 besides the number 1. All right, and then the last piece, we have to talk about adding mixed numbers. Mixed numbers is a whole number and a fraction. It's got both pieces. Whole number, fraction, like 2 and 2/3. It's got a whole number piece and a fraction piece. All right, so when we are working with these, we split it up. We add the whole numbers and we add the fractions, or we subtract the whole numbers and then we subtract the fractions. So here, let's just split it up. We have 2 plus 1. We have the 2 piece and the 1 piece. And then we have the fraction piece. 1/5 plus 3/4. Okay. 2 plus 1 is easy. That's 3. So we have the whole number piece. Now we need to get the fraction piece. So 1/5 plus 3/4. They do not have the same denominator, but we just found out that that common denominator is 20. From that last problem, you should remember that for 5 and 4, it's 20. So to change 5 to 20, we have to multiply by 4. So multiply 1 by 4, and we get 4. To change 4 to 20, we multiply by 5. So multiply 3 by 5, and we get 15. Add them together, 4 20ths plus 15 20ths. 4 plus 15 is 19, and it's still 20ths. So then this piece comes up to join the 3. So it'd be 3 and 19 20ths, and that's our final answer. One more example, but with subtraction. Same concept. Take the whole number piece, 1 minus 1, and then the fraction piece. But make sure you're putting a subtraction sign now since it is subtraction. 1 minus 1 is 0. So we have the whole number piece of 0. And then we need the fraction piece, 10 over 11 minus 1 over 3. Common denominator, if you just multiply those together, we get 33. That's going to be our common denominator. That's another strategy. If you don't want to list out multiples, sometimes it'll be bigger, but you can use it as a common denominator. So if we rewrite these with the denominator of 33, then we can solve. To change 11 to 33, we'd multiply by 3. So then we multiply 10 by 3 and get 30. To change 3 to 33, we multiply by 11. So multiply 1 by 11, and we get 11. Do the subtraction. 30 minus 11 equals 19 over 33. And that is fully simplified because 19 is a prime number. So that comes up here and joins the 0. And we really don't even need the 0. We just need the fraction 19 over 33. So that is how we add and subtract fractions along with mixed numbers.